Good afternoon and welcome to this first game of the IFAF Women's European Championships here in Leeds. We are at John Charles Stadium. The pitch is looking incredible and we have got Team Finland ready to take on Team Austria. We have had the national anthems. We are just waiting for the captains to take the field for the toss. Really exciting first game of football here today. Our referee for the day is Peter Parsons. The captains are now taken to the field.
So the referee is called the captains from Finland and Austria to the halfway line for the toss.
Finland, I believe, are the home team in this game today.
Okay, good afternoon ladies. Welcome to the opening game of the 2019 IFAF Women's European Championships. Austria, you're the designated visiting team for the game, so you will have the call at the coin toss. That is the tail and the head. That is the head and the tail. What is your call? Head's call. And it's a tail. Finland have won the toss. What would you like to do?
Receive the ball.
Okay. Austria, you'll be kicking off. Which direction would you like to kick? Kick from that end, going that, kick that way. Okay, if you could change around with your backs to the goal. Finland have first half option and will receive.
So there we go, Finland have won the toss and elected to receive. Coach is just going through the final talks and preparations before taking to the field. See some really good sized squads here in warm-up, some excellent looking line ability from both teams with decent size and a couple of really low gravity running backs. Hopefully it'll be exciting to see what they do on the kickoff. We'll see who's returning. During warm-ups, number 11 was practicing the return for Finland. So we'll see if she receives the ball. For kickoff. Austria were ready to take a reoccurring theme. It's actually quite a nice football. But once again, we'll to hold the ball. So hopefully we should have a good atmosphere as well. That is muffed on the 43-yard line. About the 44-yard line. Some really nice power football, hopefully. Twins. So we have a motion in. 4 yards, 5 yards for the offense. And if that will continue their game plan, looking at defensively speaking, we do have a nice sized line. About trying to really spread down that this time on the counter, this time 34 breaks free. That's the 33-yard line. See if Finland come back out to continue. But taken down eventually at the 30-yard line. That will bring up a third and about 7 to go. Not playing really quick out the huddle. Finland taking the time to decide what they want to do. Making sure they understand responsibilities. Does look like they are communicating a lot in the huddle. Various things that they could do. But again, they opt to go into the same formation. And will we see again that motion from number 7? This time again, it's given to number 34, who once again breaks free, breaks a tackle, and eventually is taken down just before the 10-yard line. Again, moving the sticks. This is a great start from the Finland offence, who are looking to really move the ball downfield, try and get some score on the first drive. Defensively here, looks as like Austria haven't moved much. They're sticking with what they came out in. Not closing down the gaps at the front as they should, sticking with a 3-down line and that stand-up end. So again, switched it back. That number 7 now comes back in to take the hand off, and it's through the grab. Great block there by the Finland running back. We can see a change of personnel here from Finland, looking to perhaps then go into their red zone package. So we have 2nd down and about 4 to go. Big change of personnel here. Some big offensive line coming into the play, which could suggest some real heavy running football, some power football. Again, taking the time coming out of the huddle. This time set up with the 2 extra backs in the backfield. And we have a blown dead by the officials.
Delayed game. Offence number 25, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And that tempo coming back to hit Finland there a little bit with a delay game penalty in the red zone. That will take them back, still inside the sticks, to about the 11-yard line. Sticking with that same, with 2 extra backs in there from their previous runs. Again, handed off to their big power back. This time not for too much of a gain, but still moving the ball forwards. which will bring us to third down. And about 6 to go. Will we see Finland still continue with this running attack, with it being their first third down, or shall we see them put the ball in the air, sticking with the same formation, which could suggest they're going to go with the run again, and they do with number 34, who takes it just, I think, towards the first down, which would make it first and goal. And the referee's confirming as such. So this is first and goal for Finland. A fantastic first offensive drive. Just one fumble in one play, which maybe held them back, and a penalty, but generally no nervous endings for this team. Coming out once again with that extra back. And that big offensive line, a real big powerhouse of an offensive line there. So we see again a handoff to number 34, who is in for the touchdown. That is first drive, first score for Finland, which brings the score to 6-0. Fantastic running there from number 34, who, if she continues like this, will no doubt have one heck of a game. So it looks opting to go for the field goal. Both kickers kicking well in warm-ups. The wind has just picked up ever so slightly just before the kick, so we'll see how that affects their kicking, but see if we can make this 7-0 with the point after. That is, the snap is bodged, and we're going with the release play, and it is just missed by the touchdown scorer, number 34, who could have taken the 2 points. So that is Finland 6, Austria 0, a positive first drive from Finland with one penalty and just a little miscommunication in the backfield that let them down, but I'm sure they will work on that. So we've been the special teams units back onto the field, ready for the kickoff. We will have to see if Austria can bring out the same tempo in their offence to bring the ball downfield. Delay of game penalty holding Finland back in the first drive, but they will no doubt adjust that and move forward. Bit quicker tempo. 2 returners once again for Austria, much like Finland did. We will see number 10 returning the ball in warm-ups. We will see who they target. So Finland again huddled, making sure they are communicating responsibilities as they break out to kick-off. It's good. And again, much like Finland, that is a dropped kick, but it is recovered just at the 36-yard line. If you are watching us and want to follow, we do have a hashtag, which is WEC Leeds 19. Again, a big shout out to all the volunteers here today. It is a fantastically organised event with WEC Leeds 2019 is the hashtag. So there we have the first play from Austria, which is a gain of a yard, 2 yards. Quick out of the huddle, Austria, which is a big comparison. Interesting defensive formation here from Finland, who are going with the 2 down line or 3 down line, similar formation, similar defensive unit, and into the backfield go that defensive line for a fantastic tackle in the backfield. The speed there is making the difference. Finland, I would say, do have the bigger line units, but Austria here looking to have a good side offensive line if they're going to come out with the run, changing their personnel as number 32 makes her way off the field. Austria this time taking a little bit longer in the huddle to decide on what it is that they want to do. I'm sure once they're out of the huddle, it'll be straight jogging to the quick out of the huddle, as we said. So we're going with trips this time onto the field side. Finland looking to adjust. Looks like they've adjusted by going some man across the board, and we've got the first pass of the game, which is completed from the Austria quarterback for a gain to bring us back within the sticks. But it is a punt unit making their way to the field, which is 4th down and 8. Punt not looking as strong as field goals in warm-up. I'm sure that was just a stretching thing, but we'll see how the punt unit gets on as the very wide split punt unit from Austria takes to the field. Snap is good, and there is pressure. Doesn't seem to have been tipped, but the punt is short, and that will land onto the 46-yard line, where the Finland offence will take over. Will we see a little bit of quicker tempo from Finland? They had a fantastic drive in the first drive, scoring successfully, but just a botch snap on the field goal, stopping them from getting a point after. Will they be more wary of the time on the clock? They do have game clocks on either side of the field, which means that the quarterback should really be aware of their time allocations. But again, will we see the motion come back in from number 7? And as expected this time, behind the quarterback and back down to run through the A gap. But this time it's stuffed by 2 of the Austria defensive line. And we do have a player down. Hopefully nothing too serious. Number 70 has taken a hit, but the medics are quick on the field. So a new offensive line coming in for Finland. Number 76 taking the position of number 70 as we take this quick timeout to ensure that we have a seeing to the injury. So we are at the John Charles Stadium in Leeds, which is a fantastically marked pitch. It's a full-size pitch by the looks of things, and all credit to the grounds crew here at South Leeds Stadium, which is, of course, in Leeds. That's Warren Smart and crew who painted the field out for us, I think, yesterday or maybe the day before. But it is looking fantastic. The scenery across the stadium is absolutely fantastic. Being from Leeds myself, you can see Leeds is looking great, but obviously it is the north of England, so there we go, it will be looking fantastic. So the player making her way off the field to a round of applause, looking not to be walking under her own weight, which is unfortunate, so hopefully we will see some good news from that injury. We will try and keep you posted as we get any information, but the game will continue with the score currently standing at 6-0 to Finland. Finland quicker out of the huddle this time after the injury timeout, and going with this same Twins offence with the motion no doubt coming from number 7 again. We have a new offensive line in the game, 76. Looks as though no motion this time. We're going with the pass, and the QB unsure of a read, but makes it to number 3 for a catch. Just waiting for the right time. Great route, great catch for a first down. And now we are very, very much seeing that Finland do have a game plan they want to execute, which is taking them downfield, coming out running with the power, seeing how the defence have adjusted, which is expecting the motion all the time. It looks as though the defence just went back onto the field thinking there was going to be the motion, but we will be expecting, no doubt, number 7 to be motioning a majority of this game if they do not stick in this Twins. So seeing a not so fantastic handoff, which has been stuffed by the defence to this time halt Finland's drive to a loss, bringing it to 2nd down and now back at 10. Again, Finland in the huddle, this time jogging out of the huddle, looking a lot faster, taking the delayed game penalty into mind here. Again, same formation. And again, no motion, but this time hand off again to their running back number 34, who is so far having a fantastic game, and that is why, breaking tackles and breaking it to the outside. She's going to be chased down, but that is going to be another touchdown by number 34, which brings it to her second of the tournament and her second of the game. Broken tackle resulting in a lane being created up to the sideline, and out come the Finland field goal unit once again, this time hoping to improve on their previous attempt where the snap didn't quite hit where it should have done, but they are once again taking the time to huddle to ensure that they are calm and ready before the score, currently standing at 12-0 ahead of this point after touchdown. This time, going for 2 with the same. They have taken the decision based on the previous snap to go for 2 in this same formation. And again, they're going for the pass. Number 7 looks to be open at the back end of the end zone, but that is just overthrown. Although it did look to potentially be there for a second. Wonder if Finland are going to take that as 2 points after scoring for the rest of the game, or whether they will revert back to their field goal kicking at some point. So now we once again have the kicking units taken to the field with 2 returners once again. Both kicks from both teams only sort of hitting around the 40-yard line, so only covering about 20 yards or so before being picked up, but both attempts at kickoffs have both been fumbled as well, so we will see if they've huddled together and worked on that to see if we can get a good return from Austria. Austria moving further upfield a little bit to preempt, I guess, the shorter kick. And the kick is out. This time a much better kick going to the 15-yard line. It is taken, and it is looking to try the misdirection return, but it is kept by the original receiver, who is taken out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Number 4 on this side did have a lot of running room, which suggests that the Finnish team were not fooled. So from the 25-yard line, we will start with Austria taken to the field. Once again huddling up, but straight out this time, quick and fast out of the huddle, coming to a spread Twins offence. Will we see them continue with the previous attempts to Ribalto going to the air again? It is just short of number 2. Not sure if number 80 was her intended receiver there, or if number 2 was the initial receiver. Looked a little bit clumsy in the middle in terms of the routes, but no doubt the QB's arm is there because it was more or less on point. Whether the QB expected the receiver to be somewhere else, but Austria taking time to huddle again while Finland are out in their defence. Both teams going with very similar defensive looks. Wonder if they will come 4 down altogether to get that 4-3 or 4-2-5 defence going. They've got the snap is up, and there's a flare by the running back, but the quarterback is looking downfield, coming forward, and that is a short, incomplete pass out of bounds to the intended receiver. Once again, the passing game being part of this offence. We were looking before the game at the teams warming up, and we were saying that, you know, it looked as though we would have the Austrian team coming out in these spread offences due to the size of their backs and the size of their receivers, where we expected some decent running from Finland due to the size of their line, and of course that fantastic running back number 34. But the snap is out, and again it's the same play, and it is intercepted. The safety read that perfectly. It was a straight crash down and a high point to the ball, which means that Finland will take to the field with a heavy advantage here in this game. So Finland with another chance to capitalise here and really take the game to a really long advantage. So we see that motion again by number 7. This time it's given to number 6, who is taken down for a short gain. Again, Finland taking their time out of the huddle. The quarterback taking her time to make sure she's happy with the lineup. And the snap's good this time. A quick pass to her intended receiver, which is completed. So Finland very much capitalising on this offensive drive once again. Number 7, Jaskelia Marie, is having a... Looks as though she's definitely going to be a focus of the offence in the air, while the running back is... Number 36 is going to be their prize in the offensive run game. So the snaps up once again to hand off number 6, and the blocking fantastic there. The offensive line for Finland really creating a fantastic wall there, which gives the first down. We will try and bring you names and whatnot as soon as we can, just ensuring that we get the final rosters through. But at the end of the first quarter, we see Finland heavily dominating here with a 12-0 lead and looking to have a rather good chance of capitalising for a third time. These are 12-minute quarters here in the IFAF Women's European Championships. So quite a quick game, which is why we're in the second quarter, only 23 minutes after kickoff. So 23 minutes in length for the first quarter, including stoppages. Obviously, we did have the injury timeout. No update on that just yet. But Finland ready to await the official signal and see if they can capitalise for a third time and bring another score in. There's a motion again from number 7. This time handed to her, and the gap is there, and it's a duke to the outside, but there is a flag. I wonder where this would go. Eyes were on the running back, so that is a fantastic play with some great blocking up front there, but there is a flag. We will see what the officials have to say regarding this penalty. A block in the back, unfortunate there, to bring Finland back quite a considerable distance, but we will see if they will opt to put the ball in the air or go with a single play with it still being first down. Some fantastic running there by the Finnish backs. Number 11 out wide, with number 7 again in the slot, looking to potentially motion in again. There we go, there is the motion from number 7 this time back. It looks like the snap has been, number 7 gets the block in, and is it going to be recovered? It is recovered by Austria. The penalty, and therefore the botched snap affecting Finland hard, and this is a chance for Austria in this second quarter to try their very best to get a score before going into the half-time, and potentially getting the ball back twice in a row. So Austria quick out of the huddle once again. This time coming out in a more of a heavy set formation to run some power football, and that is stuffed for a short gain. So Austria will re-huddle. For second and 8. So handoff from number 7 over the middle, but again it is stuffed. The quarterback from Amsterdam Thunder, who's represented here for Austria, which is Daniela Skelch. So we have third and 8 here for the Austrian offence. Getting a bit slower out the huddle. 72 just making sure she understands the play. But this time coming out in trips, so we see Finland make the adjustments, but it looks as though they may have just left someone uncovered if they're going to apex across. And there it is, the flood, which is caught by number 81, which is Denise Skaradic, which is a wide receiver from Amsterdam Thunder, so it is the QB's teammate. So despite the completion, we are going to see the punt unit again from Austria with the 4th and 5 in their own 30. The punt is short, but it is taken an okay bounce, but it is going to be picked up and recovered, but the officials have blown that dead. Finland take possession then after the shot punt on their own 42-yard line. See again the same formation with number 7 in the slot. See the motion there, this time from number 33, which is handed off to number 33, who gets the gap and is taken down by the Austrian number 20, which is a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Much quicker out of the huddle this time here for Finland, who are sticking with this game plan to use the motions and that power to just drill the ball downfield. 2 out of 3 times it's been successful for a score. This time number 9 handing the ball off again to great, fantastic running from number 34. Number 34 is Kusinen Taiti. I must apologise if I'm getting these names wrong. Obviously, hard to pronounce some of them, so please do feel free to tweet in and tell me otherwise if you want to help out. But just a trip, the gap was there, but number 20 once again was crashing down to take that. Austria number 20 being a rather effective part of this defence today, which is Teresa Mulbner. But this time Finland quicker out the huddle. The hashtag once again is WEC Leeds 2019 if you want to tweet in to tell us your thoughts and opinions. Number 9, the quarterback, straight time. This time there's a completion to number 8 with a bit of room, but the defence quick to cut that down, which will put the ball on the 42 yard line. Third down on the 42-yard line, so about 3rd and 5 to go. Really hoping that Finland can get their momentum back. It was a really solid first 2 drives. The penalty in the 3rd drive just holding them back. But Austria holding well on defence here. Seems to have made some adjustments where they've got the right idea in terms of looking to the inside more, particularly from number 20, and being aware more of that motion. But when that motion isn't there, they're just holding back and crashing down quick. But that was a missed tackle, and the first down picked up by the looks of things from the offence. So we have a 1st and 10 again at the 35-yard line. This time we're changing personnel, so number 6 coming off the field. Which is Kempai Amelia coming off the field, and we're seeing a return back to that motion from number 7, Jaskela Marie, but not to any avail this time, as number 46 from the defence takes the tackle. Number 46 is Suzanne Reschebauer from the Vienna Vikings. So we have 2nd and 10. About midway through the second quarter here, and predominantly Finland are taking it to Austria, but Austria really holding out defensively here now, starting to make the adjustments, holding up to some 2nd downs, but being a bit loose on that, where especially when you get the blocking up front now. But we do have flags, which looks like a hold, but number 34, who is absolutely powering through with that offensive line, doing some fantastic jobs for blocking. See what the referee has to say here.
Number 60, penalty, 2nd down.
So the penalty there again hurting Finland, with some fantastic blocking up front and some even better excellent running. But the penalties, I think every drive now, apart from including the first drive, has had some penalty which has really hurt them and brought them back. This time quite considerable distance with a 2nd and 20. So the ball looking to go in there again. This time complete with a missed tackle and just short of bringing it back inside the sticks. I think a stop here from Austria would really build their spirits in terms of being able to get that score before the end of the first half. If they do manage that, then of course they will get the ball back, which will mean that they are really within a chance of absolutely bringing this game back into really competitive. But both teams at the minute just finding their feet in terms of penalties. That motion again from number 7, followed this time by number 20. Must be looked to key on that, but the defence this time really taking advantage of the gaps and adjusting well to that motion, expecting the same play each time from that motion. So that is hopefully going to give Austria a real momentum builder when they get the ball back. By getting the ball back with probably a few minutes to go in this half, if they can really score, not leaving much time left on the clock. But this time, so we see a statement set here as on 4th down, Finland do decide to go for it with 4th and about 10 and a bit. But it's thrown short, and that has resulted in a 5-yard gain. But interesting decision to throw it short and let the legs do the work, particularly given that Austria had adjusted well defensively. So that would be a big boost for Austria to come out 2 scores down. But with the ball towards the end of the second quarter, see if they can really use the clock to their advantage. We will bring you time checks as we get them, but bring the clock to their advantage and try and capitalise on this possession. A spiralling pass towards the receiver is incomplete. Number 2 for Austria running the route, but this time we see the receivers breaking out as the line of backs still discuss the play. So we see this spread again. Handed off this time up the middle to a fantastic gap from the offensive line, giving them that first down. That was excellent running. I definitely think there that the defence was caught a little bit unexpectedly, expecting that pass, but Austria really taking advantage of this possession and getting the first down. Quick out of the huddle for Austria again. The Finnish defence just getting quite ready. Handed off again in the middle, they're going to go to play, but this time number 52 looked to get a bit confused in the backfield there to try and make the tackle, with the ball moving forward about 5 yards, which brings us second down and about 6 as the Finland offensive coordinator signals the play in. So the snap brings the QB, decided to keep the ball. Not sure if that was an intended draw. I think the QB looked up to make the pass but decided against it and saw a gap and thought she would go with it. Really will boost the offense ahead of this near red zone drive. So there we go, we do have the 2-minute warning at 1 minute and 51 seconds. A perfect position for Austria to be in here at the end of the second quarter. Will they decide to try and move the football forward sensibly and go for the score, or will they look to score and then trust in their defence to be able to stop an attack from Finland? The QB looking once again but taking a time, but it is thrown short to the receiver, who is pulled out of bounds by 2 Finland defenders. So a personnel change by the Finland defence for the looks of this, bringing off some 3 players and placing it with, looks like they've got a very well designed 43 takes to the field as well, who is, we know, a strong part of this team, but trips this time in just on the red zone, but it is this time, looks like a speed option, and it is pitched successfully to number 32, who does take it to within the 10-yard line while the clock is still running. So the officials quick to get the ball placed down as the offense huddle. The Finland defensive coordinator shouting some instructions onto the field as the Austrian offense come out of the huddle. Number 7, the quarterback, just making sure that she is clear to go. As we go trips again. This time looking to pass, and the pass is up, but it is caught and put out of bounds by number 81 from the Austrian offence, who was covered by 2 Finland defenders. So number 81 once again from Vienna Vikings. looking at the rosters, a real mix of teams on the Austrian roster, but Vienna Vikings really looking to be a strong team, bringing a lot of players to the championships this year. But we see this trips formation once again. On second down in the red zone, but this time it is thrown just over the top shoulder and not quite capitalised on, but that should realistically have been a score for the Austrian offence. But as the clock is stopped, we'll see Austria huddle and see if they can, with 2 plays, probably look to score on this play ideally. On 4th down, will they decide to keep the ball pinned into the 20 yards by going for it if they're unsuccessful, or try on 4th down just for a field goal? But number 7 again, the quarterback with the ball in the air. This time it's thrown just too high and wide, but there is a flag in the backfield, so we will see what the official has to say. The referee again today is Peter Parsons, part of the IFAF crew.
Personal foul, shot block, offense number 31, 16-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So the chop block off penalty there will hurt the offence and take them back a considerable distance. Really now a big change in how Austria were in terms of moving the ball forward. Will this penalty really affect how they're feeling going into the 3rd quarter if they were unable to get some points on the board before the end of the half? Stick with the same formation. Number 7 again, this time pounced upon by number 98. An excellent blitz through the gap, high in the air, and the quarterback had no choice but to surrender the ball and take the tackle. Looking a little bit hurt, but it looks like she is happy to carry on. More maybe annoyance than anything else. But Finland again getting the upper hand here towards the second half with fantastic offensive drives, but Austria did adjust well defensively and come out and get the stop, get the ball back in perfect time to get the score on the board. But they're going to, as expected, try and pin Finland back if they were unable to. Looks like we have a timeout called.
Timeout called at 7 seconds by Austria. Their first timeout of the half.
So Austria taking the timeout just to double check to make sure they are doing exactly what they want to do, taking their time to really be as effective as possible on this, what essentially could be their last play of the half. So the sticks are down, so it is the end zone to gain. So it is a long attempt here with the ball just on the 24-yard line. So we'll see what Austria have in their arsenal to come out and try and take on this strong Finnish defence and try and put themselves in a better position moving into the half. Although they shouldn't be too concerned, I'd say, moving into the half. They have really stepped up defensively, and offensively they're showing potential in the completion of plays. Just a couple of short high balls and just over the shoulder catches that have let them down. The crowd really getting behind the defence here as the ball is thrown short. The intended receiver there looking a little bit deflated at the fact that she thinks the route should have gone further perhaps and was expecting the deeper pass. But Finland taking possession of the ball on the 24-yard line, so we'll see if they want to attempt to try and get some more points on the board moving into the half, or will the defence, it looks as though they're going to be taking a knee to move into the half. So they're quite content then with the 12-0 lead moving into the half. So we are at half-time here at the John Charles Stadium in Leeds at the IFAF Women's European Championships 2019. The score at half-time is Finland 12, Austria 0. Real positive first two drives from Finland, but a good defensive stand-up by Austria, getting the ball back but couldn't quite capitalise on points. So we did have an injury concern with number 70, who is being helped to the changing rooms. Looks, thankfully, to be up on her feet, with only one person just kind of casually holding her arm, which means that she looks to be able to maintain quite a lot of her weight, as the teams, Austria opting to stay on the sideline in their respective units to discuss half-time adjustments, whereas Finland going into the changing rooms. So we had quite a nice opening drive there from Finland, a really good effective running game that was brought there in the first drive, resulting in points, and just a penalty that hindered them somewhat, but that became a little bit of a theme for them as they continued, and then Austria unfortunately again falling down to that penalty and just a few catches, a few passes that were a little bit off tempo to the intended receivers. But a really strong run game by Finland from their running backs, using the motion to try and bring that extra block in, and a fantastic offensive line blocking, sometimes like a wall. So we'll see if Austria can adapt offensively coming into the second half to try and come back from 2 scores down. So we're going to take a quick half-time break here. We will be back in around 5 minutes. Keep your tweets coming in using the hashtag, and we will do our best to keep the coverage coming to you as we are. Hashtag WEC Leeds 2019, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. So we're back here at John Charles Stadium in Leeds, just awaiting for the second half to get underway in this opening game in the Women's IFAF European Championships here in Leeds. So far it is 12-0 to the allocated home team, which is Finland, who have been really strong in the offensive line and with the running game. Austria holding out defensively towards the end, but penalties letting them down on their last offensive drive. A few tweets have come in, namely one from Neil Reynolds, Sky Sports presenter for the NFL, who's tweeted out his best wishes for the Great Britain team, who do play later on at, I believe, 7 o'clock, looking at the website. This is a round-robin tournament, so it's 4 teams who play across 3 days, I believe, or 3 games, with the winner being dictated through a point system. Finland and GB obviously going back some way in terms of history, looking at their recent, shall we say, conflicts with each other, so it will be interesting to see later on down the line how they get on. But there is a website that you guys can go on to find out further information, which is the IFAF Women's Tournament. So the 2019 European Championships is here until the 17th of August, all played here at John Charles Stadium in Leeds. Monday 12th of August today is the first of 2 games, to be played, which is Finland against Austria, which we are currently at the halfway mark. At 7 o'clock, Great Britain taking on Sweden. Then we are joined again on Wednesday for Finland taking on Sweden and Great Britain taking on Austria. Finland and Sweden at the 3 o'clock kick-off time, with Great Britain and Austria at the 7 o'clock kick-off time. Then on Saturday, so quite a nice break there from Wednesday to Saturday. Saturday, 17th of August, we have Sweden against Austria with the early kick-off, and Great Britain again taking the later kick-off against Finland at 7 o'clock. So you can stay up to date with the scores as they come in with the hashtag WC Leeds 2019. Great job here by the BAFA volunteers, who are from many teams in the local area and further afield, doing a fantastic job of organisation, with the stadium looking fantastic, with the national flags hung proudly along the stadium and the sidelines looking fantastically stocked with everything that the team will need. So as we head into the second half here, it'll be interesting to see how Austria react to getting the ball first. Can they get that offensive mechanics moving to make sure that they can get some points on the board? This quarter will be a hard quarter for them to make sure that they can do so, because if they find themselves 3 scores behind, then they could potentially find themselves in a position where it is not very easy to come back. There is some potential there in the Austrian offence with a few just missed opportunities, but the officials will now come back and take the field. The officiating crew is a mixed officiating crew from across European nations. It is not a full British crew. We do have some officials from other nations involved in the tournament. Our officiating crew today is our referee Peter Parsons, our umpire Stuart Tarrant, and Alicia Darkins, Philip Home, Jenny Holmberg, Daniel Sidham, Liam Wootton, and we are just about ready to get underway as the Finland kick-off unit loudly break the huddle.
It will be Austria to receive the ball from the finish kick to start the second half.
So Austria will receive the ball once again with 2 returners in this similar kick-off formation, with that short ball expected. I guess maybe they are looking to put one of their faster returners up on that second line to sort of anticipate the short ball, but the kick-off much improved by both teams as this game goes on. But as is such in the game, kicking and special teams in general, a very difficult operation in our game. So the hashtag again, WC Leeds 2019. Get the tweets in. We'll try and go through some of them as the game progresses. This time no holder needed, as the ball places nicely on the tee, and the second half's underway. A low driving kick, which does make it to the 25, picked up by number 4. They're still attempting to look for the reverse, but not given. Number 4 wide down the sideline with lots of room and taking that to the beyond the 50. So there is a flag, though, a late flag on the field by our side judge. We'll see what the head official has to say regarding this penalty before the offence takes to the field. A quick discussion between the two officials to see how they will move forward. Another official coming over to just check.
During the return, holding Austria number 35, take out penalty, first down.
So that long positive return negated once again by a penalty. It's a common theme about successful players then being negated by penalties in today's game, particularly in Austria. But we'll see, as it's still not terrible field position to start with based on the previous kickoffs that have all been around the 40. So we'll see if they, as they've expected, to start from a similar position in the second and first quarter. We'll see if they can come out hard and move the ball forward, quick out of the huddle. Again, this similar spread offence that we're looking at from the first quarter with a single back. The motion this time comes back with the run player. Nice blocks up front there, which did create a gap, but the Finland defence was quick onto that, crashing down from the backers. So we're seeing second and about 6 or 7. Good positive first play, I think, from Austria. If they can keep that building, then that will really drive the ball downfield and get them into scoring opportunities. But it's that red zone opportunities that they've just been missing out on when they were in the red zone. That one opportunity they had, moved out of the red zone because of a penalty, and then couldn't quite capitalise and get points on the board. But they're back out the huddle again. Will we see the motion this time, or will they, like previously we are, but this time from the running back, to take it out wide, looking for that quick bubble screen. And the running back moves back inside despite looking to have room on the sideline there, but moves back inside to the tackle, but gaining only about 2 from that play. We do look to have another Finland player down on the field. It looks as though the number 70 from the first half isn't on the sideline, but we'll see, hopefully nothing too serious from straight back up on her feet. So number 70 has taken off her kit and her pads and looks like will be taking no part further in this game. At number 15, off the pitch of her own accord, which is good and positive to see. But coming off the field, so the play clock reset to 40 seconds there on the official's signal. Austria taking their time in the huddle too. Just to ensure that we're happy. This time coming out in trips, much like it did in the red top. This time on, again with the field side trips to maybe look for the flood again. This time it's a reverse, which has been successful, and the defence have bit into that. But luckily there was there's a fumble. Will they consider that to be down? I'm not sure if she was down just before, but we will see. And no, the officials have said that is a fumble. A positive play there from Austria. Really fantastic play, really well timed, smart play, which did take them upfield, but again, unfortunately, just some small mistakes really hurting them. So Finland again on the upper hand here with the ball on the 38-yard line. See if they can come out and use the same style of play they had in that first half. So number 7 again is going into that slot position. Will we see the motion with 34 in the backfield as expected? So we have the motion again by number 7, this time in front, but it is handed back off to number 34, who again is through the blocks and into open field, being chased down, but not quite going to be caught, and she is in for the touchdown once again. A fantastic play by the Finland offence, who are really, really doing fantastic things with this inside running with that running back. Great speed, great size, and now we are in a position where 18 points to 0 to Finland early in this third quarter. Austria really looking to have to get points on the board in this next drive when they do get the ball back. Again, victims of their own mistakes in terms of penalties and fumbles, but as we thought, Finland going for two once again after the first field goal didn't quite go their way. The snap wasn't fantastic, but we see the motion from number 7 is handed off again to number 6, and that is in comfortably for the 2-point conversion, which means now there is a 20-point cushion for Finland moving into the second half of this game. Wonder if we're expecting Austria to come out in the same offensive look to try and move the ball downfield passing with just a few little mistakes that have stopped them doing so, but they could and they have really got the potential to get a good passing game going. Or will they try and run the clock? But now they're in a run at the ball, but now they're in a position where they're going to have to really put the ball in the air confidently and comfortably to get and chip away at those quick yards, not taking much time for the clock to get this back into a position where it could be at least 2 scores. So we're looking at them really having to get a score in this third quarter and a stop in this third quarter and be in a position going into the fourth quarter where they can score to bring this back to a competitive level. Low driving kick again, this time fielded by number 4, but because her knee was down, of course the ruling in this tournament is, and in NCAA's, if your knee is down, then you are therefore down by contact. So she did have the opportunity to return for a few yards, but unfortunately was not able to do so. So Austria take to the field at the 29-yard line. Yes, the 24-yard line. In the huddle. Tweets coming in from the hashtag from across Europe. The Vienna Vikings, of course, tweeting for Team Austria using the hashtag WEC Leeds 2019. The motion there to bring it back, but the QB on the read option, but stuffed by the Finland defence. So it's a loss of yards on that first play, which will no doubt have a bit of an effect on the Austria mindset. As we break the huddle, get line up in that spread, single back with the motion out from number 31. Number 17 off, Finland loosening the coverage, expecting that bubble screen again, and there it is. They can crash down that, but it's incomplete. Although did that go forward, the officials ruling it as a forward pass, therefore as incomplete. So Claire de Bear, NFL, tweeting out our stream today, thank you, with of course the hashtag This Girl Can. Excellent movement, This Girl Can, which is a few I believe about 3 years back, the This Girl Can was really pushing for involvement from female athletes in sport, and of course this is the pinnacle for a lot of people who compete at local level to compete in an international tournament, particularly an international tournament away from home. Slow handoff there, the line given lots of time to, the D-line being given lots of time to be able to Rich Tinkerino, not going to try anyone's name then, don't blame you. I have been trying, and I will continue to try as I get a chance to, but I do apologise in advance for the fact they will be mispronounced, and I'm more than happy if anybody has any skills on phonetic to tell me how to pronounce them. But there's a high snap that does get the punt away, Although it does roll and bounce, an attempt to just scramble on that by a few of the players. So as we see the Finland offence come back onto the field, successful in 3 of 5 of their drives, although penalties still hindering both teams, but the quicker out the huddle this time. We do see the same setup, and Austria just adjusting defensively to that 4 down line now, with number 7 still making the gap on the side of the stand-up pen, which is interesting. So we will see that being used quite a lot. It looks like a lot of the runs are going towards the side of that weaker end. Maybe Austria are going to try to come out with a typical barefoot against this kind of offence. They do need to really get the backers to crash down a lot more, perhaps even put the backers as a stack over the right up on the defensive line, but do hold themselves in the pass, because Finland have been a threat on that. So we see the 4-3 down line, with the 2 backers now coming up closer to the defensive line into the gaps, which has put the ball into there, but it has been unsuccessful to number 7, who has been a pivotal part of this Finland offence. Quick out of the huddle for Finland. See an interesting looking defensive formation from the Austrian team, which had just resulted in the ball being run away from them as number 6 breaks into the open field and takes in for the touchdown. Number 6, Kempai Amelia, who has now scored successfully a 2-point conversion and is being used as a really good power back alongside number 34, sharing the reps well, and both very successfully opening up that defence. And we're seeing Austria try to adjust defensively in the second half to some interesting styles on the line, but that time leaving the overside of the line just far too open, and the Finland offence capitalising on that. So we see again Finland going for 2, setting the tone moving forward into this tournament. And it's a handoff to number 34, who has successfully taken that in for the 2-point conversion. Kusinen, Taiti, I again apologise for the names, but we do of course want to give credit where credit is due. So Finland really coming out, showing some dominance in this game. 28-0 into the third quarter. Austria yet to score. They have been in a position where they can score, or they could have scored. They've been in a red zone, but opting to drive the ball downfield using a pass, a couple of floods and trips formation with a speed option. But now really going to have to think about that game plan. Are they going to get success trying to move the ball using that game plan? Do we have to see them try and become a little bit tighter and move the ball through the gaps a little bit more, take advantage of the gaps on the weak side of the defence? A low driving kick, which does come off number 46, who decides to sensibly dive onto the ball and secure the possession on the 37-yard line. Most of the kicks are coming low that area, low driving kicks. We've had 1 or 2 kicks that have gone to the 20-yard line, but we are still seeing that kind of similarity of between the 30s. We're seeing the kicks landing. So obviously kicking could be on both teams' agendas for moving forward in the tournament, but again with the game later on we will see if that's a recurring theme. I know personally through my experience it's always been a challenge to build special teams and kicking into any programme, even if you do have a good kicker. So seeing the 3 down line moved away with the trips adjustment, so we're looking at that backer moving across to man up on the inside receiver. Number 7 keeping it on the option, so the quarterback decides to run laterally to try to avoid a tackle, but then running into contact to gain around about 1, maybe 2 yards. Austria really having to show some tenacity here. Moving out the huddle quick. Good positive attitude to move out the huddle quick. Again with the same formation. Will we see the motion again? Or will we see if they can run it back through the gaps? This ball is snapped. And the QB put under pressure. But third one attempting and almost perhaps intercepted by number 40. Not quite hitting the mark there due to the pressure brought by the Finland defensive line.
Ball is snapped.
So on third down, Austria haven't been too successful on third down attempts, so we'll see what they pull out the bag. They do really need to get a score on this drive, or have a fantastic defensive showing to keep Finland out of the end zone. I do feel if they don't get a score before the fourth quarter, they will leave themselves in a very tricky position. So they come out in trips to run the flood, and the QB again put under pressure, but there is a the QB is taken down by the Finland defender, but there is a flag on the field. Will that be a hold, and will it therefore maybe be declined? But we will find out. That's number 97 for Finland. Raikkonen Hilka. Again, I apologise if maybe it's wrong, but credit where credit is due. So a sack on the stat sheet for the Finland defender, who has got the penalty decline. Quite right, they got the penalty decline. Bring up fourth down. So the punt unit will take to the field. Single returner for Finland. Snap is good this time. The pressure is hard, and ball not making it over the shield, but the Austrian team will leave it just beyond the 50. So we see the Finland offence once again coming to the field, showing really fantastic scheming today, really executing well their game plan. Sure, the penalties will maybe have kept them a score further down from this, but really do know who they're going to use for what personnel. Number 76 on the offensive line really being a fantastic key in that blocking, but all of the offensive line in general doing a fantastic job. Some plays it's just been literally like a wall moving. The now 5 down Barefoot defensive line. Interesting to say they're really just saying we know what you're going to do, but still it's not working because they're running it off of the tackle through the gap in the guard, and again it's just open field for the Finland runner, who is taken down at the 13-yard line. So despite the fact that Austria are trying to adjust defensively and really come out with the idea of we are not going to let you hit through these gaps, we're going to fill the gaps with more and more down linemen and really press our coverage across the field. Finland's still taking advantage of that by successfully moving the ball downfield. Much credit to that offensive line for being outnumbered but still really holding their blocks sensibly. So we pull from number 71-76, leaves the gap wide open. And again, that was really good execution from the Finland offensive line. We saw a pull from number 71-76, which really saw the kick out then again from 76, which really did leave a good gap for the running back to get through. So on second down and 3. Inside the red zone. Not quite got the sticks down yet, but we will see if they will either come up short or try and power the ball back through again with their backs that they do have. This time the ball's going in the air, and it is just short. I think a little bit of miscommunication of number 11 on the receiving side. She maybe just overran her route a little bit, but I think she was aware of that and tried to correct it. But that was definitely something that they could have capitalised on if maybe they had run a little out instead. So we're going to see a motion again from number 7, so back to what we're comfortable with, and a handoff successful, but just missed the tackle from Finland. She bounces off another of the Austrian defenders, and that results in the score from number 7. So we've seen really 3 key players here from the Finland team who are really making it hard for this Austrian defence. But Austria are doing everything they can in order to adjust, but not quite finding that click. The crowd also getting behind the lead. It's 34-0 as we go for 2, as expected from Finland. The motion this time coming from the other side and handed off to number 32, who decides to take it up the middle of the field, and it looks like she is in for the 2-point conversion, which really makes the score now more or less out of Austria's hands. But we will see if they can try and redeem some scoring moving into the back end of this third quarter. Again, I do want to apologise for my mispronunciation names for anybody who may be listening from either of the countries that we're representing today. Obviously, a guy from Yorkshire and Leeds is definitely a little bit out of his depth with them, but I will do my best. Feel free to help out and send any phonetics that you have. But as we see Finland line up for the kick again, wondering how Austria will move forward, giving this better kick into the 25-yard line. Again, going with that misdirection play, which there was a gap there, but 46 has closed that gap. They've just taken the outside route. I feel like the misdirection play is maybe going to slow them down a little bit, and could have perhaps rescued a few yards just by taking the middle lanes. But of course, Austria sticking to their game plan as they come out onto the 36-yard line. Remember to use the hashtag WEC Leeds 2019 to send in your thoughts, opinions and tweets. Have a look at those at the end of the third quarter. Finland expecting them to come out passing them here, taking away the trips adjustment once again. Number 7 taking a little screen, but it's just in front of the hands of number 31. But the pass is incomplete, and we have 2nd and 10. Wondering if Austria are just a little bit nervous about taking the ball downfield, given the interception earlier on in the first quarter, which did, I think, lead to a Finland score. So we will see if they will get that confidence back in terms of moving the ball into the middle of the field with the passing a little bit more, trying to spread the coverage a little bit more, and see if they can move out of trips and getting the zone coverage looks, but into trips and getting a tight man look. So we'll see if they want to take advantage and which one they prefer. But now they're getting the movement then from the offensive line of Austria, either suggesting some sort of trick play or a miscommunication there. The offensive line moving as if it was a screen to the box side, but nothing really open there, and the QB taking to the side. It looks as though it might have been a trick play to try and misdirect the Finland defence. We do have third down, and this time they're going for the middle of the field, but it is nearly intercepted again. So Austria are struggling to get that confidence in terms of putting the ball there into the middle of the field. The quarterback does have the arm, she has proved that. So we'll see if she can continue to build that confidence. So as these special teams units take to the field, we are at 36-0 to Finland, who are the allocated home side for the day. Information about the tournament is available on a website that has been allocated to this tournament. It gives you the fixtures, the times and dates. All fixtures held here at the John Charles Centre for Sport here in South Leeds. The punt is much better this time, and it goes to just short of the 30, but the finish returner will pick it up and try and just hop a couple of yards to add to the.
So midfield, 39-11, and Finland will start on their own 35.
So Finland will start on the 35-yard line, really successfully executing their game plan, and every drive moving it towards the red zone and just into the red zone, with the penalty was taking them out, and executing probably about 75% of the time in terms of their close plays. So we'll see what Austria decide to do defensively. Looking at going back to their 4-down set. So looking at the four down, I think the motion will still come, and it will still be the run from number 7 through the gap. The offensive line doing a great job of moving the defensive line there. Number 71 doing a fantastic job of holding the block, and the centre number 78 really doing a fantastic job of trying to open that gap to get the run. But the defence this time trying to a little bit wiser to it. So the defence communicating. Number 1 out into the slot on. Ball placed in the middle of the field. Looks like a blitz maybe coming, but it's dropped back. And number 7 on the motion and the carry again, but she breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, and is taken down from behind by the Austrian defender. So using those backs very well still. I suppose if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Really sticking to game plan, and Austria just not quite finding that defensive adjustment to make it. They've tried 5-down line, 3-down line, 3 in a stand-up end, and bringing the backers closer in. They've tried to blitz, which was a little bit more successful. Looks like they've gone man across the board, and just out of the hands of the Finland number 3, who had the room to maybe make up a couple of yards there, but just couldn't quite get the catch. So we've got 2nd down and 10. Finland taking their time, quite rightly, wanting to just take control of the game and put it under their terms. Snap handed straight off to that back, was straight again through behind the offensive line number 76, who was good 4 yards downfield in that block, doing a fantastic job. The offensive line really holding strong. Austria now looking a tad deflated, but communicating. Looks like number 26 is really trying to keep spirits alive. This time again looking to go with that really 5-down line, bare looking front, but will this be effective as it hasn't been on previous attempts? Number 7 in with the motion, and this time back again as number 73 with a fantastic block, creating the lane for the running back, which has moved the chains. Finland doing a really great job here of just controlling the game, controlling the tempo, making up those short yards, moving the sticks in towards the back end of this 3rd quarter. This time back to 4-down line with the backer up tight and the safety really closing down again, expecting that run in the middle from number 7, no doubt, but this time going across and nothing quite there for the Finland offence. The Austrian defence doing well to flow across to negate the yards that could have happened. Change of personnel here. Number 6, number 7 comes off. So number 7 is off the field. So we'll see if this affects the play calling of Finland, or will they then use number 6 to be the motion. But that is the end of the 3rd quarter. So at the end of the 3rd quarter here we have 36 points to 0. Hashtag WEC leads 2019. So Neil Reynolds tweeting out, good luck to Bath women who kick off their European Championship campaign on home soil against Sweden tonight. That is at 7 o'clock. If you can get along to John Charles Stadium in Leeds, make sure you cheer loudly for these ladies. Absolutely expecting a great showing tonight for the home team. The Bath women's tweeting out that the medals and preparations are sorted, ready for the final day of tournament. Mary Frame said, are you telling me there was insufficient local talent available for the halftime show? Well, we are not part of the game day, but the game day guys have done a fantastic job here in organising a fantastic event. But any feedback, of course, from towards them will be appreciated. But they're doing a fantastic job. A few tweets coming out from the GB Lionesses who are excited for their game days. We see the motion from 33, who hits the gap between 73, fantastic block, and another great block, just not quite in the back from Lyman downfield. Again, Finland really capitalising hard on this running game, who are now again in the red zone for maybe the 5th or 6th time this game. 33 number 1 come off the field, number 25 onto the field for the Finland offence, which again maybe is a heavier package to do it. The Stallions women's AFC tweeting out good luck to the women's team ahead of their game later on as Finland line up in the red zone to see if they can again put more points on the board. So it's a good snap, and the Leeds box off, and 34 again through a big gap that's been created by our offensive line, and the Austrian defence cannot quite get a handle of hers. They score once again, I believe, although I'm happy to correct that, it's her 4th touchdown, not including a 2-point conversion. So that is an absolutely fantastic showing from the running back core of Finland. Steph White said it's great to be able to watch women's American football live and commentated, absolutely provided by Onside Productions, of course. And you want to shout out to Portsmouth Dreadnoughts women's team. Fantastic to see there is a team down in Portsmouth trying to grow the game as the field goal goes up. Not quite blocked, and this time opting for the field goal with the point deficit to get the reps in, and it is happy. So it is 43-0, a comfortable lead for Finland. There is no mercy rule in this league, so it will not mean that the clock will move faster than it may in a Bucks or Baffa game. So the clock will continue as normal, as we see now if there can be any movement from the Austrian offence. Let's go Team Austria being tweeted out, WC Leeds 2019. Toby Chester's interesting first half. Finish online looking good, absolutely, for a period of time, but slowed down. I think they are getting under a little bit of fatigue, but they are still pushing hard, creating those gaps. Austria fighting hard to get back in. Shame we couldn't score before the half. Absolutely agree that scoring before the half would have been the most ideal thing for this Austrian team. So the kick this time a lot better, received well by number 4. Again going with that misdirection play, but being kept by number 4. I'm wondering if that's a predictated thing of kick-off left and kick-off right, and therefore it's not down to the players, it's down to the play call. But it'd be interesting to see how they manage that. Any ideas, do tweet them in. We have Hannah Wiles watching from Australia, supporting Austria. Go Austria, WC Leeds 2019. And the Cardiff Valkyries tweeting out some good luck message to the GB team for later on, especially to their own roof. They will be watching. So we see if Austria can get the ball moved downfield. Haven't been successful getting to the red zone there. This time, the running back not sure about taking the gap and decided to mouse out to the side of 2 of the Finnish defenders. So it looks like Finland is still going to play hard in this last quarter to see if they can keep the 0 on the board. Tweets coming out from women's teams across the country. Teesside Steelers, who tweeted yesterday a video showing the location as the ball is snapped, and again unsure in the backfield of what to do as the Finnish defenders decide to take their tackle once again, and leading to a third and quite behind the sticks. The Yorkshire Academy of American Football tweeting out that they have their volunteers from their team in the stand working with BAFA today, which is fantastic that we have women's teams and youth football teams working together at this fantastic event. So Finland line up defensively. Austria really trying to move the ball downfield to try and get some points on the board. Going deeper this time, but looking for the short option, but not quite hit it. Number 2 stopping in her tracks before the quarterback can get the ball out. So it looks as though the change of personnel is for the 4th down to punt and see if they can let their defence do a job. Although maybe the offence looking there as if they were wanting to stay on the field to try and move the ball. But it would have been a long 15 yards, and offensively speaking, they've not been covering any more than 4 or 5 in successful plays. Maybe one breakout, but the spread punt is here and shields up. But the Finland have been heavy in really getting through that, but the timing is on, and the punt is short, going to the 40, just short of the 40 yards from the 35-yard line, and is picked up by Austrian. But we have officials. We have a flag on the field, sorry, so we have a flag at the 12-yard line. Maybe would suggest roughing a kicker.
Ready for the kicker. Finland with a 75 5-yard penalty, 4 down.
So that is a running into the kicker call, not a roughing the kicker call. Obviously 2 different penalties with 2 very different results. Roughing the kicker would have resulted in a 1st down, which would have been fantastic for the Austrian offence, but the running into the kicker is only a 5-yard penalty and no loss of down, so therefore it is still 4th down. This time about 4th down and 10. This time it is blocked and it is recovered by the Finland special teams unit. It seems as if that is something that we've been expecting to wait for in this game. They have been getting close each time. Obviously the pros and cons of the punt style that Austria are using is that by being spread out that much, they really have to make sure that their punter is back and their shield is on form to really make that block. But if they get the numbers, then obviously it shows they can make the block. So that will be placed at the 22-yard line. Finland coming out with number 8 in the slot, number 23 in the slot, who usually do play on the motion, so we'll see if that is what's going to happen. Although spreading 80 wider from the QB, would that suggest we're going to go that side? Yep. Although it is almost intercepted, but does that look to be a catch? Excellent catch there, just on the ground, a little bit clutch from the Finland receiver, although I do feel like they pushed her out wide to bring her in back inside a little bit too far, maybe in better position from where she originally were, and more inside the numbers positioning. But Finland line up again, this time with the motion, and it is handed off to go down a bit, but 22 is waiting there, well read from the defensive line from Austria. So hashtag WEC Leeds 2019. Birmingham Lions women's team, of course, who have representation in the GB squad. Great opener so far. Finns look good, in shape. They're looking forward to watching Great Britain do their thing from 7, absolutely. As there is a great run again from the Finland offence to result into the score, which means that we are seeing still a dominant showing from the Finland offence. Thank you to Birmingham Lions women's team for correcting me. We are not the Lionesses, we are the Lions. Fantastic, thank you so much. I'll bear that in mind. But they are happy with the opening game so far. So good competition to come. So Finland going for the field goal once again. Oh, yeah. So the GB Lions later on will be taking to the field as the field goal is good. So now at 50-0 for the allocated home team, Finland. I'm sure now we will see, as we have seen, a resting personnel from Finland. Interested to see how Austria see. Bear in mind that it is a round-robin tournament, so although it does make it more difficult for Austria to come back into this tournament, there are other games that will result in points. So even though the deficit is very high, if they can work out the percentages and just come back fighting for the next two games, they may still be in the chance of placing high in this tournament. But Finland really showing that they have come here to try their absolute best to show what they're made of. So that's picked up on the bounce by the returner, this time running into the back of one of her blockers, but still making it up to the 29-yard line. So they will start beyond the touchback and will be starting at the 29-yard line. So the crowd really trying to get behind Austria here to show them some support moving forward, but both teams showing a really strong showing in terms of crowd. So the lead block goes forward, which gets downfield with the block, but doesn't pick up the blocks as maybe expected, which means two of the Finland defenders managed to get into the backfield or behind the block to make the tackle. So we have 2nd and 8. I will try and get a time check as we can, but we will be aware when it is a 2-minute warning, so we will see how long there is left. Again, there is no running clock in this stadium, which is why we can't bring you a direct time, as the officials are the only people who can control that. So unfortunately, we do apologise for that. However, here's the handoff, and again, a little trick play on the boot, but it does work for Austria, who managed to get the first down. So it's the first down they managed to get this half, I believe, which is good. Hopefully this can bring some momentum, get the points on the board, close down the deficit, therefore making it easier for them when it comes to playing the next two games on Wednesday and Saturday. Slow out of the huddle here from the Austria, but quick on the bounce in this again. Same with the lead block. In that look again, will they be running to the left again to try and get a lead block? Or it looks like that's where the line is quite heavy, so they've adjusted across to the weak side of the line to try and use the gap, but that looks like it could potentially be a delay of game penalty as the flag comes in. So that's a delay of game penalty for each team so far, as Finland take a change of personnel. This stadium also home to a local team, the Yorkshire Rams, who play here. Head coach Dale Bottomley from Leeds Beckett, who, as the running back, is just hit short with a flag, who compete in the Div 1 of the Summer League. But this time it is home to women's football for the next week, and also the Hunslet Hawks Rugby League Club, who are a local championship team from here in Leeds. An unfortunate penalty there for the Austrians, as that takes them further back, making it very difficult for them now to potentially get any scores on the board. I'm sure that Austria, after this game, will be very much going back to the drawing board in terms of their defence to see how they can adjust better to that middle run game. But offensively speaking, They do have that right idea and the right potential in terms of the running and passing game, just falling short on a couple of options. So this time looks to be on the counter, but the defence not quite fooled and it is dragged forward. Looks like Austria are going to try and power the ball through towards the sticks, put themselves in a nice position to pass, and then maybe try, if they can't get the first two, pin the punt inside the 20. But the punting today not being fantastic from either team, but again this is a genuine thing from all across the league, particularly in this country. I'm sure many coaches can agree. So the crowd once again getting behind this defence as it's handed off, and there is some nice blocks coming on the outside, but not quite quick enough from the running back to get on the outside towards the blocks from the lead. But still, the Finland defence is playing with some tenacity and really working hard to get the ball back, to maybe bring the tempo of this game back so they can just run out the clock with a 50-0 lead. Again, there is no mercy rule in this tournament, therefore the game clock will be as usual under any other circumstances. It is 12-minute quarters. We are in the fourth quarter. Austria is showing some tenacity out of the huddle, quick onto the line. In that they try a QB sneak there, maybe to put themselves in a better position to punt, or maybe to just try and catch out that Finland offence, much akin to what you might see in a Navy-Army game with their traditional offences that they see. Very much one for the purists, that play. And I'm sure that people out there like Robbie Ricard, Dale Bottomley will be happy to see it. But the punt here, the snap is good this time. The pressure not quite getting there, much improved from the previous punt. A better punt for it taking it on the bounce to the 40. They would have really liked to try and get that towards the 20. I know it's a long kick, but maybe taking a nice bounce to try and get that towards the 30 or the 20, just to really make it a little bit harder for Finland. But Finland coming out again with this really big, well-drilled offensive line that they've got. 71-76, really having a fantastic game on their respective sides of the line, leading that blocking downfield, opening up some fantastic gaps. But number 7 is still on the field. Will we see the motion? The crowd getting behind the defence. Number 7, here we go with the motion. Look, maybe she'll come back into the gaps again, but take the round off tackle. This time, a big gap again from that offensive line, but there is a flag in the air, so perhaps we are seeing a hold here from the offence, but we'll see what the official has to say. So the illegal block in the back taking Finland back, not too much of a concern now given the score, but still they would have liked to see if they can come out and get one successful last drive in, with much of their starting personnel in there. Number 6 is in the huddle, who has been a great driving force for the Finnish team. Number 6 comes out wide, number 3 out wide. But it looks as though there will be the call for that motion again from number 7. This time handed off with the lead block. A fantastic block there from number 6, who opened up a fantastic lane for number 7. But there is a flag on the field.
Personal foul, straight change, defense number 41, 50-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Following that penalty, the ball was spotted at the 33-yard line, so the first and 33 came out.
So the penalty there, taking the defence up the field. Defence getting support again here from the crowd. Handoff with a big gap there for number 33, who stutters through it but gets a good gain, taking it to a first down. Changing personnel here from the ball carrier, number 33, number 1, coming to the sideline as well. Number 25 into the huddle. Number 6 and 34 in the backfield, making a really good pairing and combination. Will they run it towards number 6's side? They will. As number 6 gets that blocking again, helped out by her other backfield counterpart, and just short by the looks of things of a first down. So we're in the fourth quarter here at John Charles Stadium in Leeds. And that is a 2 minute exactly warning. The score at 50-0. Finland looking to punch one more in here before the end of the game. The defence again with support from the crowd. Finland taking the time. Well, they want it again across to number 6's side. This time going the other way with a great lead block again from number 42, pushing them forward to the 4-yard line. Clock still running. Exactly 2 minutes at the 2 minute warning. Now the sticks are down and we are at first and goal. Starting to cool down here now at John Charles Stadium ahead of the game this evening. It's been a pleasant day all round for football. A little bit of cloud cover, no rain and not too much wind. So both teams here at the same advantage in terms of the weather, but it looks as though now we are in a position where Finland will opt to take the knee to finish out the game. It looks as though there's not going to be any timeouts called by the opposition. Maybe 1 or 2 more knees before the end of the game, but I expect we are at about a minute. But again, we do not have a direct clock, I'm afraid, due to no availability for one at the stadium, but the officials do have the exact time. As Finland come in again to take this. It's been a fantastic game, really. I mean, we've seen a fantastic showing from both teams in both respects. We saw a good, strong start from Finland in opening up with a score, despite a penalty letting them down. But we saw Austria come back out to fight hard and adjust defensively, not quite catching their mark, but adjusting nonetheless to try and counteract that heavy power play from the Finnish offence. But we'll see how Austria come back onto the field in their next game. Again, it is a round-robin tournament, therefore there is still a chance to succeed, and that looks as though to be the game as the official puts the ball any second now, I'm sure, into the air as the players leave the field. That is a fantastic showing here from Finland, who lead the score 50-0 at the end of the fourth quarter. Really flowing hard from their crew of backs, particularly number 6, number 34, and that fantastic offensive line that really pushed them forward. Penalties hurting hard for Austria, but still there is a lot of football to go, and hopefully we'll see these teams really play out for the rest of the tournament. Oh.
Oh, he's already done that.
Okay, we have two MVPs as nominated by opposing coaches. The MVP for Austria was number 90, Sabine Rekvar, nominated by the Finnish staff, and nominated by the Austrian staff, the MVP for Finland was number 34, Titi Kussinen. Please show your appreciation for both teams. Representing us fantastically over the course of that first game. Final score being 50 points to Finland and Austria scoring 0 points today. Okay, just getting away from Austria a little bit in the second half there after a very impressive second quarter where it was scoreless. Don't forget, food and drink is still available in the bar. The people from Football America are also